It was a game in which the Warriors were hoping they could leave Oracle with a lasting impression of victory in a Game 7. That man and his group had other ideas, and it was that man, Kyle Lowry, whose leadership and aggression, Zeke, was there from point number one, had a terrific first quarter, really setting the tone.
You hit the nail on the head when you say setting the tone, because as you know, this building was ready to explode, and I thought the way he came out and established himself early in the game was remarkable, and it definitely took the crowd out of the game the first 5 minutes.
Klay, who ended up breaking a record in terms of percentage from three in the finals, was brilliant early. Steph kind of quiet, but back and forth we went, Grant, and it was the others who were getting involved. Siakam, a big game with 26.
The young fella had a big game, came out confident, hitting deep shots, three-pointers early on for his ball club.
Meanwhile, Iguodala, a big man inside and with the big shots. Doesn't seem to be anything that would stop the Warriors. Some easy buckets inside on that ball movement, Mac, here in the first half.
Yeah, they kept battling. I need my mic up here. They kept battling back and never really gave up on it. You got to give them a lot of credit, man. You know, you lose KD, they come out, Klay gets hurt, but they found a way just to keep battling. But at the end of the day, the Toronto Raptors just had too much firepower. Too many different people played well tonight for Toronto, for Golden State to beat them.
And late in the game, even though you see some big buckets here from Kawhi, so strong inside, it was the big shooting from his teammates, but then the unfortunate nature of what happened with Klay Thompson going the other way on a break, and eventually on an attempted block, we would see Klay Thompson, after some hot shooting, go down with an injury. And it was really tough to watch what happened with him, especially because he had been playing so well and having really an MVP-like finals if they go to Game 7, let's be fair.
Oh, without a doubt, and this is the play that you're referencing where he attempts to dunk and he goes down, and, you know, we were all praying for him and everybody wants him to, you know, stay strong and get back healthy. But, you know, it was a tough break for Golden State, but you have to give the Raptors credit for staying, you know, emotionally involved and finishing the game the way they had to finish it.
And they finished it in the fashion in which they've played every game. Kyle telling us a couple of times during this series about the process and staying day to day. The Warriors trying to do that through the face of injury. Klay would leave. They would realize the free throw rule, which, by the way, coaches are coaches. Kevin McHale, like 0.03 seconds before he was shouting in our green room, you got to get him back out there. Got to make sure he shoots the free throw, otherwise he'd be out for the game. He would end up hitting both. He did not want to come out. You saw him in the backcourt trying to convince the team, but was not able to do so. Obviously, no chances were going to be taken. Left on crutches. We await further road. Wish the best for him, a true competitor. But so are the Warriors. They weren't going away. Iguodala hitting big shots. Back and forth we went. We knew it was going to go down to a finish, and it did. And into the fourth quarter we go. And, gee, it's been big shots. And, look, we're dads. Having babies will do a lot of things for you. Fred VanVleet stepped in. I mean, he didn't miss a shot, it didn't seem like, for 2 weeks. Brilliant.
On fire for 2 weeks, indeed. Hit big shots, was at times had the ball in his hands, making big plays for the Raptors here down the stretch.
Yeah, and it seemed like never bad shots for the Raptors here. Nice play, a little bit of loss on defense, and an open make. Probably the easiest one VanVleet has had. They're excited up in Toronto, as you'd imagine. Lead is 3 with 3:40 to go. Now it's 4, just over 2 minutes. Lowry looking for buckets. And sometimes
bucket, floater.
Now here, when you get trapped.
Right here, I'm just looking for anybody to get the ball to.
Yeah.
Danny came up, wasn't scared at the moment, but damn, he ended up throwing a turnover.
Yes, he did.
But he came up and stepped up for me, and hey, then it's time to get a stop right here.
Yeah, they ran this play here. That's a tricky play, that long pass over there. He got a decent look, but he missed it. Then it was just a battle.
And right here, I wasn't trying to grab the ball. I was trying to get time to come off the clock. And Draymond ended up getting it and called a timeout with, you know, I knew they didn't have no timeout, so I didn't want to grab the ball with like 2 seconds left. I just wanted to keep hitting it.
Yeah.
So time could run out, and we ended up getting the ball back.
I mean, that's an important point. I mean, you know, you always talk about, you know, staying in the present, staying in the moment. And you said you didn't want to grab the ball. You wanted to keep tapping it, right? So time could run out. Talk to the fans and talk to people about just how conscious and how aware and how present you are in every single moment, every single play, not getting one play ahead or thinking one play behind about what just happened.
I think that's what championship teams do, you know. It's not about what happened or what's going to happen. You have to stay in that moment. I feel like when you start thinking too much, you don't play well. It's all about reading, reacting, the instinct of basketball. I feel like that's how you get in the zone and how guys just start going on streaks and runs and hitting 10 shots in a row, or your team does. And, you know, like I said, in that play, he missed the ball. I could have got the rebound early and probably got fouled with about 2 seconds left on the clock, but I end up tipping it to half court just so that time could run it out, and because I knew they didn't have any timeouts left.
I know you have. I was just going to say, if you can back, can we see the trophy while?
Yeah, you throw it up there, man. I tell you what,
TV.
nobody wants to see our faces. They want to see your trophy.
Now go.
Right there. No, hey, I was going to say to you, you know, you look at a year ago today. All of us guys who love the NBA and love the way you play were concerned about you. You know, you hadn't played, and boy, what's the injury? How's he doing? And look at 1 year later where you're at. What an amazing change in a year. Can you just talk about that?
Man, it's amazing. I kept faith in myself. You know, I had a great support system behind me with family and friends. And I just believed in myself. I didn't listen to anybody. I felt the way I was feeling, and I took my time. And, you know, I didn't want to come back early and then end up re-injuring myself, and then I won't ever be the same player I was going to be. So, you know, I just made a conscious decision of saying, you know, I'm going to make sure I come back healthy. And if I'm not the same player, I know I could be the second or third best player on the team, rather than coming back trying to be the first option early and then coming to be the fifth or sixth best player. So I just thought about that, and that was my mindset. I didn't care about anything else but able to stand in this league for a long time at being either the second or third best player. That was my mindset. If I was never going to be able to, you know, be the same guy I was going to be.
Right.
Well, Kawhi, you know, you talked about coming back, and you came back with vengeance. And what's amazing to me is just how you've improved over the years. And I remember years ago, Chip England talked about how hard you worked, and it had to pull you out of the gym 2-3 times.
Well, I'm just going to say it. When you came in, you didn't have no handle like you got now.
Yeah, where did you get that?
or a jumper, let's be honest. You've improved a ton, man.
Pass and find open people. When your offensive game is complete as any player in the league. And just talk about the work and the time that you put into your game to get to this point right now.
Man, like you said, Chip is my guy, and you know, he was a great shooting coach, and I was in the gym every day. I was doing 3 workouts a day, lifting, and you know, with the team I did have in San Antonio, I wasn't really able to show the talents that early, but Popovich is a great coach, and you know, he didn't let me skip any steps. I took every step the right way. Chip knew how good I was, and I just kept striving and having faith that one day I'll get to this point, and I won the championship today.
And it was a beautiful thing watching your improvement. I'm just telling you, for all of us guys who played, we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
We'd say we're just proud of you and the work you put in. But now I got to ask you one thing that's real serious, big question. How come you can't beat Masai Ujiri in ping pong? He told me he just wears you out. What's about that? You're going to have to start working on your ping pong game.
I know. You could tell he been practicing, or he been playing for a long time, because he's always just playing for fun, and he'd come in there and just start hitting the ball all different type of ways. I was like, oh, come on.
Kawhi, I've got one more. Regardless of what happens in the future, in this year that you spent with this team and in that city, can you describe how tight-knit that relationship for you with both has become in that short a time?
It was amazing. I had so much fun this season. Probably the most fun I ever had in a basketball season. Maybe because I didn't play last year, I wasn't around you know, too many people just rehabbing with doctors and stuff. But this year has been so fun. You know, just able to grow as a player, be a part of a new team, new teammates, and obviously a new country. And they just embraced me, and I thank them all for letting me come and be the player I could be.
Look at that screen, and
right
how about describing that shot? That's what awaits you.
Jurassic Park, man. Look at it.
And that's not snow either. That's confetti.
Finals MVP on 2 different teams. That's not a bad list, Kawhi.
Not at all, man.
Not a bad list.
Fantastic.
Congratulations, champion,
Congrats,
once
man.
again. We've
Thank
got
you.
more coming up.
Appreciate it.
NBA Finals live coverage presented by YouTube TV.